And we do want to continue talking about the Delta variant and its effects. Have we turned a corner on the latest surge of COVID-19? Dr. Brett Giroir, a member of the coronavirus task force during the Trump administration, says yes. He spoke about the Delta variant and COVID immunity on the Donlin Report last night. Let's listen.
We are probably over the hump with Delta. We can't let our guard down, but most people now are either immune naturally because of Delta sweeping through, or they've been vaccinated, or a combination of the two. If you have natural immunity, you are about as protected or even more than if you had the vaccine.
And Dr. David Trotter of Emergency Medicine at Advocate Illinois Medical Center is here once again. Talk to us about what Dr. Giroir said in terms of herd immunity. There have been a lot of debates from the medical community saying, yes, we have indeed reached that point with so many people having already been infected and so many people having been vaccinated. What do you think about it?
Well, I'm very happy that we're still having this downward trend of COVID-19 infections. But if there's one thing this virus has taught us is that it can turn at the drop of a hat. And so we still need to maintain a lot of vigilance and really promote the same message, which is to get vaccinated. Whether you've been infected from COVID-19 in the past or not, it's very true that vaccines is the best way and the safest way to stay protected and prevent more infections.
There have been studies out, though. One of the scientists in UC's San Francisco School of Medicine was talking about the fact that the Delta variant is the last surge that we'll see, and that because of immunity being boosted based on vaccination again, and people who have become ill and healed up, that this is the last of the worst that we're going to see. Do you think that this is the last hurrah for COVID-19?
I certainly would hope so. We had the same type of jubilance, back in the summertime when we thought that was going to be the last wave that we were going to see as well. But with that same point, we still need to maintain this vigilance, still need to maintain the protection. And if we continue to get vaccinated, I think that hope could become a real reality.
There's something else that we know that the White House announced a $1 billion investment in at-home COVID tests. The rapid tests, even though we just talked about there being a rapid test shortage, they want to invest in at-home tests. How will that help in terms of staying off this spread of COVID-19?
Well, the more accessibility that people have to get these tests, the more likely they're actually going to test themselves at home. And you are going to get a few more people that are going to test positive at home and prevent them from going to school, from going to work and exposing other people to this virus. And this will help to decrease the spread of the infection.
Yeah, a lot of people having a measured response to some of these really good statistics saying that it's getting better, understandably so. Thank you so much, Dr. Trotter, for being with us, as always.
Of course.